I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream, and welcome to all your latest Chelsea news and another day of absolute, utter nonsense from the institution that is Chelsea Football Club. Transfer briefings, predictably, after a poor result. Oh, suddenly we want a centre-back this month. We've had conversations with Marco Senesi at Bournemouth. Oh, we're interested in Jeremy Jacquet. Transfer briefings left, right, and centre. Facundo Buonanotte, that wonderful signing that we made, that great success. Well, that's over. He's gone to Leeds. Played 45 minutes in the Premier League for us. All the fallout from the Arsenal game as well, transfer stuff, all of that business, and just a general chat about the state of the football club. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff, people. You lot know exactly what to do. Big up to everyone that is already locked in. Just a quick reminder, as always, guys, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code Blue Brother for 20% off, guys. You don't want to miss out. Chelsea shirts, retro shirts, whatever shirts you want. Names, numbers, patches, great quality, affordable prices. Make sure you show the guys some love. Go and check it out. Jerseys FC Soccer Shop, link in the description. Use code Blue Brother. This 99 to 98.99 or 98 to 2000 long sleeve home shirt arrived in a post this morning. Great top. So yeah, people, make sure you check it out. But that is enough about that. Let's say hello to some of you lot in the chat, and then we'll get this show on the road. What's going on, people? Hope we go get a proven centre back, bro. We're not getting a proven centre back. Yes, evening, bro. What's going on? Yes. Hope you're well. Yes, what's going on? Big afternoon from Florida, USA. Big up to you, Jedi Master. And big up to all the Chelsea fans in the US as well. I feel there's a few that are part of the community. So big up to you guys. Surprise, surprise, now they want to centre back when Maresca asked for one. Answer was find internal solutions. Bro, these lot just make it up as they go along. If you had a good centre back, win-win, maybe we do win yesterday's game. So we're talking cheap mid. Yeah, basically. I would agree. Yeah, good top. I like this one. Yes, big up, Jordan. Hope you're well, bro. More PR news. I'm not falling for it. Neither am I. Now we want to send it back after forcing Rescue out. Yeah, bro, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Can't we please get someone over 20 years old? We need experience. Yep, we do. Honestly, this is so tiresome, right? This is so predictable. This rinse and repeat cycle, right? Where you lose a game, fans are annoyed at the club, there's a protest coming up, things aren't going well, and off the back of a poor result against Arsenal, suddenly, actually, we want to send it back this month. Chelsea want to send it back this month. And we're briefing out that we spoke to some targets and whatnot. And Marco Senesi, he's 29 years of age, out of contract to Bournemouth at the end of the season. We've looked at him. We've held discussions about him to make it look like, well, we are prepared to go for older players. And then inevitably we don't do that. And we just go back and do what we always do. And it's rinse and repeat BS. And people keep falling for it. Rinse and repeat BS. But we approached Van Dijk last season. No, we didn't. We absolutely didn't. It's just such utter nonsense. And what if he'd said yes, we're going to pay him well over 200 grand a week? He signed at 400k at Liverpool. We're never paying him 400k. But don't worry, guys. Everything's fine because we approached Van Dijk. We made an approach to Van Dijk, even though it was never, ever going to happen. Never going to happen. Yeah, top bins, you're absolutely right. Just like that Semenyo approach. Utter BS. And I've had enough of this nonsense, chat. I've had enough of it. I've been very patient. I've been very, very patient with this, right? I've given it more of a chance than a lot of people have. And I'm calling this BS out now. I'm going to call this BS out every single day and expose these frauds that are running this football club and expose the nonsense that they do. And they deserve it. And if people don't like it, people don't like it. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything's fine or just say things for the sake of it. I'm here to say my opinion and say what I think is the truth. And, maybe it's going to be the villain era. Maybe it's the villain era. Maybe we're going to enter the villain arc. And 2026, we're just going to say it how it is. Because right now, I'm fed up of this nonsense. Absolutely fed up of this nonsense. Fed up of this pathetic, weak mentality at this football club. This Spurs mentality that, people saying, oh, we done all right last night. Look at the players that we had missing. No, we didn't do all right. We lost. We weren't good enough. It was unacceptable. The lowering of the standards by by fans is so poor. So poor. But let's get into it, chap. Let's get into it. I don't even want to start on the Facundo Buonanotte farce. I don't even want to start on that. I don't even want to start on the Facundo Buonanotte farce. We're going to start on the centre-back situation. Because, lo and behold, today, Chelsea have started to look for a new centre-back opportunity following internal talks of Liam Rosenior. So, let me just get this right. So, Enzo Maresca asked for a centre-back. He discussed it with the club last summer. They said no, and they said internal solutions. They briefed that, if we sign another centre-back, Josh Achimpong might ask for a transfer, might want to leave the club. Decided to stick with the current squad. Now, the second manager in the space of 6 months has come in and has said these centre-backs are not good enough. And now you're listening to him. So what's changed in 6 months other than the manager? What's changed in 6 months? Because the centre-backs weren't good enough 6 months ago, and the centre-backs aren't good enough 6 months later. So why 6 months later are you deciding that you now need a centre-back? When you told the previous manager, internal solutions. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is an absolute joke, and it is an absolute mess, and it is all of our own making. All of our own making. It's incompetence that got us here in the first place. If Maresca got a centre-back in the summer, chat, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have fallen out with the hierarchy. But I reckon there's a very good chance that the meltdown that he's had with the club could have been delayed by a few months, potentially. Maybe he lasts the remainder of the season. Maybe we get to the end of the season. It's just so infuriating. Why have you just wasted 6 months of a season? Why have you basically waited for the season to fall apart before deciding to do something? You fall out with a manager, you tell him to use internal solutions, and I tweeted this earlier. Chelsea are tripping over their own web of lies. Briefed that a centre-back wasn't signed in the summer because it might block Achimpong's path and he might want to leave. 6 months later, actually, we do want to sign a centre-back, and that now wouldn't block the path. What we're doing doesn't make sense. What we're doing doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That doesn't make any sense. We chased Brantford and Huijsen, then Cole was out for the season. Yeah, this is what I don't understand either, right? Before we were looking at a centre-back before Levi Colwill got injured, chap. We looked at Dean Huijsen. We desperately wanted Dean Huijsen. That was the guy that we wanted, right? He went to Real Madrid. Fine, it happens. You miss out. So then why after that did we not progress? Did we not pursue a single centre-back after that? And then Levi Colwill gets an ACL injury a month before the transfer window closes, and you opt to do nothing. Then suddenly it's like internal solutions. They know that they messed up in the summer. This is now trying to save face. This is now trying to, trying to recover their mistakes, trying to recover their incompetency in the transfer window. And you look at the names that we're linked with. You look at the names of the centre-backs that we're linked with. And I said it earlier myself. There is no point bringing another centre-back in unless you're going to break the mould and bring in proven quality. If the directors and the hierarchy are sitting and watching what we've been watching over the last few weeks and over the course of the season, and you bring in another unproven centre-back, genuinely, what is the point? What is the point? Because if you're not going to bring in someone who is better, who is going to make a difference, someone that's going to make a difference right now, someone that we desperately need to come in at the back to raise the levels, there's no point doing it. There's literally no point doing it. Because if you're looking at Jeremy Jacquet at Rennes, if you're looking at Marco Senesi at Bournemouth, if you're looking at this Jacob Ramono at Como, none of these guys are coming in to make a difference. None of these guys are making the defence better right now. If you're looking at signing one of those people, you're better off just recalling Ansel Mino, because none of those three are better than Ansel Mino right now. You're literally better off recalling Ansel Mino. And this is what does my head in, right, is that everything at this club is asset driven. Everything is about buying players to sell on. Nothing is ever about improving the team. Why is the first thought when signing players not about improving the team? Why? The very first thing that people think, that this ownership think about when it comes to signing players is, how much can I sell these lot for when in 2 or 3 years' time? Bro, we're not getting Rudiger. We're not getting Rudiger. And so Chelsea now suddenly, after wasting 6 months, after waiting for the season to virtually fall apart, after seeing a manager walk out halfway through, now decide, actually, do you know what? Maybe we are going to get a centre-back. Maybe we'll try and get a centre-back. 2 managers in 6 months have told you that these centre-backs aren't good enough. Yet, you didn't act in the summer, and then you've wasted half of the transfer window doing nothing, and now you've decided. Bro, I'm not conspiracies. Brother, nothing I've said is a conspiracy. There is reams and reams of evidence that backs up what I'm saying. Now, this is not an echo chamber. This is a free community for people to voice whatever opinions they want. Bro, there is no conspiracy theories here. What I'm saying is supported by a long, long run of evidence that we do not sign players to improve the team, that we make up that we're interested in more proven players, when actually we've got no intentions of going for them whatsoever, to try and appease the fans, to make it look like we're trying to bring proven quality in, but it wasn't possible. Van Dijk nonsense, Semenyo nonsense, Mark Gurhey nonsense, Van Dijk nonsense. I've already said that. You know, there's no conspiracy theories here. And top bins, this is it, bro. These guys cannot accept any level of responsibility, cannot accept any accountability, don't take any responsibility. If any of us, myself or any of you lot in the chat, made this many mistakes, this many cock-ups, showed this level of sheer incompetence, you wouldn't be in a job anymore. In any workplace, if you mess up multiple times, you're either asked to leave or there are performance reviews. This is normally how a workplace operates, chat. So many transfers that have been shocking. Vega, Felix, Disassi, Buonanotte, just 4 off the top of my head. At what point is there a performance review into the directors? At what point is any accountability taken for the mess that we're in right now? Remember a couple of years ago, chat, when we were briefed. Remember when we were briefed, chat, that there's going to be a 4-window plan at Chelsea. We're now 6, 7, 8 windows into this 4-window plan. And nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And people might think, oh, look, it's good that they're trying to rectify their mistakes of a centre-back. Until you realise it'll just be another young defender who's not ready. Someone that might block the path of a Sarr, an Anselmino, or an Action Pong. And you could have just done this in the summer and not fallen out with Maresca. This is what I'm talking about, chat, with shocking decisions being made on a regular basis, time after time. Time after time. And no one's learning from them. Four-window plan, yeah? 6 windows in. And our squad is as bad as it's ever been under Clearlake. As bad as it's ever been. So in 2023, I've just found the tweet now. David Ornstein, December 16th, 2023. 2 years ago, pretty much. Just over 2 years ago. Chelsea are 2 windows into a 4-window strategy. Now we're 6 windows in. The squad's as worse as the worst it's ever been, probably. Clearlake, Egbali, Stewart, Winstanley, Shields, they've ruined the football club. And yet people are sitting there and saying that I'm doing conspiracy theories, saying that I'm making stuff up. I'm sick of this. Absolutely sick of this rubbish that we're doing right now at this club. Because this should have been a season of promise. This should have been a season to build upon the success of last season, the success in the summer. And instead we ballsed it up again. We ballsed it up. No one's taken accountability. No one's taken accountability. And I will praise where praise is due. But I'll also criticise when repeated mistakes are made, when we are spending hundreds of millions of pounds and not getting the quality of players that we need, not improving the squad, making the squad worse. And yet I'm being told that I'm doing conspiracy theories. I'm being told that I'm being unreasonable. I'm being told that I'm not being objective. The evidence is right in front of us. How can it be any clearer? The evidence is there for everyone to see, chat. That we have been a mess in the transfer market. We've been run so poorly. And yet, what I'm saying is wrong. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Bro, and this is the thing, right? And when you say they're not interested in improving the team, they're not interested in building a title-winning squad, right? People say that you're chatting nonsense. People like, oh yeah, but they said they want to win. Bro, these stock can say whatever they want to say. The proof is in the pudding. Actions speak louder than words. Nothing they are doing right now in terms of recruitment, in terms of squad building, is suggesting that they want to win a Premier League title. It's suggesting that they want to win a Champions League. Everything they're doing is asset-driven, resale value-driven, only interested in qualifying for the Champions League. If we win if we win the odds cup here and there, fine, but they're not really that fussed. That's what we've become right now. And people are just sitting there and watching it happen and saying nothing's wrong. I just don't understand it. Like, what are we doing here? It's just mistake after mistake after mistake. No accountability. No one learning. No one taking responsibility for anything. I can accept mistakes. I don't mind mistakes being made. But hold yourself accountable for those mistakes. Do better. Put stuff into action to make sure those same mistakes don't happen again. Don't just do lies, PR, and keep making the same mistakes and take no accountability. I'd be much more understanding and forgiving of mistakes if there was responsibility taken for the mistakes, and then you come out and say what we're going to do to make sure we don't make those mistakes again. Instead, they're doubling down on the mistakes that they're making. No one's being held accountable. You never hear from these guys. The only time you hear from them is through PR. Or if we're successful, they'll then try and claim that it's because of them. Otherwise, you never hear from this lot. And they just make mistake after mistake after mistake. And they use whoever the head coach is, they use them as a shield. They hide behind them. They throw them out. They hang them out to dry. Blame it all on them. Take no responsibility. This is what I'm fed up of, is no one taking responsibility for anything. I'm not moaning about a lack of money being spent. Myself and 95% of the Chelsea fan base are fed up with the money being wasted, with the money not being used properly, with the money not being spent in the correct way, not signing quality players, not signing proven players, not building a squad that can compete for the major trophies. That is why we're fed up. I've never criticised them for not spending money. I've criticised them for wasting money, for having a failed sporting strategy, and having spent £1.5–2 billion, having a really poor squad, a squad that's not even complete, and a situation where we've qualified for the Champions League once in their 3 years of ownership, with a very strong possibility of it being won in 4 years, and yet I'm supposed to sit here and just pretend everything's fine. That's not happening. Yeah, of course. We've got every right to be worried about the club. Every right to be worried about what is happening at the football club right now. Every right to be pissed off with it. 5 sporting directors is ridiculous. Not a single one of them good enough to be in the position that they're in. And I'll never tell anyone how to support a football club. I'll never tell anyone that their opinion is wrong or that they shouldn't have that opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But let's not deny the facts here. Let's not deny the evidence that is right in front of our very eyes. And the evidence that is in front of our very eyes is that this ownership are not interested in building a title-winning squad. Because after 6 transfer windows and almost 4 years in charge, the fact that we don't even have a complete squad, the fact that we don't have a top-class goalkeeper, the fact that we don't have a top-class left winger, the fact we don't have a top-class striker, a top-class centre-back, the fact we're still missing 4 key positions after 6 transfer windows and £1.5 billion invested in the playing squad is unforgivable. Unforgivable. And this, bro, they don't care about the fans. Of course they don't. They've never, bro, they referred to us as customers. the Chelsea chief executive at the time, or the head of communications, or the head of whatever it was, referred to fans as customers. They don't care about the fans. They've never cared about the fans. We're just customers to them. That's all we are. Bro, Chelsea are an asset management firm now. That's what we are. We're not a serious football club. We're not a football club that's interested in winning. We're an asset management firm. They're an asset management firm. That's what we are right now. We're player trading. Stock market settings. That's what it is. Just trade, 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 trade. No interest in building a winning squad. This lot don't know what a winning squad is. All you had to see was last night. Elite sporting director at Arsenal. Top level recruitment. Elite level squad. Eze and Mediocrity didn't even get off the bench last night. They brought on Mikel Merino. They brought on Havertz. They brought on Gabriel Martinelli. They brought on, I can't remember who else. And look what we had. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That was that's what we had to show for 3, nearly 4 years into this ownership. And that's what we had to show for it. It's unacceptable. Bro, I wasn't doing YouTube when Roman was here. But I tell you now, I was very critical of the fact that we weren't challenging for Premier League titles on a regular basis since 2017. But we kept picking trophies up. We won Champions League, and the intention was there. We'd sign top players. Yes, we'd make mistakes in the transfer market. We'd always go for the best managers available, and we'd always give managers the best chance of success. But this is what people don't understand, right? Is that when you look at players like Ivan Toney, for example, if you look at a player like Ollie Watkins, let's just use 2 strikers as an example. Instead of thinking, these could really help us, these could really contribute to us over 2 to 3 years, get us closer to our goal, maybe drag us over the line for trophies or whatever. They don't think about that. Their first thought is, well, if we sign them at 28, 29, we can't make any money from them. There's no asset value. There's no resale value in that asset. There's no future asset value, which is why you never see us sign anyone over the age of 24, 25 max. Because after 2 or 3 years here, chances are there's no future asset value. And that's by design. That's by design. And people are just lapping it up. Every year, exactly the wise. Every year we're rebuilding. How are we still rebuilding? Can someone please tell me how we're still rebuilding, or how it almost feels like we need another rebuild and we haven't really finished the rebuild that we were doing? Facts. And this is what it boils down to at the end of the day, is that there's a frustration with the fact they're not learning from mistakes, they're not acknowledging mistakes, they're not taking any accountability for mistakes, and they're showing no intent they actually want to win. Yes, bro. Protest is 1 p.m. Saturday, mate. 1 p.m. Saturday outside Bovril Gate. Yeah, 1 p.m. Saturday. You don't. They take no responsibility. That's why everyone just passes the buck to each other. There's no responsibility. They just all hide behind each other. But I don't care if people think I'm wasting my money. I'm not bothered. But I'm not going to support the team. I'm supporting the team. People can think what they want. If you're happy with this ownership, if you're happy with the direction the club's going in, that's absolutely fine. I'd question why you think that, given the evidence that there is. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to not go to the matches. I've already paid for the matches. So I'm going to go. And I'm going to support the team. And I'm going to make it clear that we don't like this ownership, that we're against this ownership, and that we need to change. I'm not just going to sit here and do nothing and watch this club just become a shadow of what it used to be in front of our very eyes and do nothing about it. I'm not doing that. Yeah, bro, it's mad. By the way, there was a lot of things that weren't good under Roman. There were lots, but one thing you can never accuse Roman of is not caring, is not trying to win, is not bringing the very best to the football club, is not caring about the fans. Roman cared about the fans, would sign the best players, would bring the best managers in, would give the best chance of success to the football club. These lot bring in unproven managers, sign unproven players, no intent on winning, and don't give a damn about the fans. That's the difference. Bro, it feels like a Blue Co raid. Legitimately, it does feel like a Blue Co raid. No joke. No banner. Chat, we're almost 200 in the building. Make sure you smash that like button. We're 7 likes away from 100. So run it up. Let's get this to 200 likes ASAP, people. Smash the subscribe button if you are new round here as well. Of course we have, because people have just accepted mediocrity. People have just accepted mediocrity. And that's a real shame. Bro, they don't care about the fans. You can say they saved our. No one is complaining about them not spending money. No one's complained about money not being spent. I'm going to make this clear one more time. People are not complaining about money spent. People are moaning about money being wasted, poor quality of players being signed, a poor squad being put together, no intent of winning, not caring about fans. That's what people are complaining about. No one has said, no one's complaining they're spending money. Where have you got that from? So yeah, look, at the end of the day, what are you talking about? We won 5 Premier League titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues, multiple FA Cups. Yeah, towards the end, the squads weren't good enough. But we're never in a position where we're fucking 8th place, or we were struggling to qualify for Champions League football, or we weren't at least in the top 3 in the league. Right now, we're on course under this ownership for 1 Champions League qualification in 4 years. That's what we're on right now. We're one Champions League qualification in 3 years, and it's looking like it could be 1 Champions League qualification in 4 years. And people are praising it. Exactly. The sporting directors got a contract extension in the summer. They were rewarded with contract extensions. For what? For what? Genuinely, being a sporting director at Chelsea must be the best job going, because you can make whatever mistakes you want, get things wrong time and time again, and you're never going to lose your job. In fact, you're going to be rewarded for getting things wrong. And this is when mediocrity sets in. This is when standards drop, is when mediocrity isn't punished, when failure is not punished, when incompetence isn't punished, when there's no accountability. That's when the standards drops. When you are rewarded for constantly making mistakes and doing poor work, that is the start of the standards dropping. And the standards are coming from the top, and it's weak mentality that comes from the top. Weak mentality, chat. I'm just baffled by some people's views. I don't get it. Bro, they're all a problem. They're all a problem. They're all a problem. Egbali, directors, everybody in the sporting hierarchy is an issue. Everybody. Yeah. And no, by the way, no one's saying Roman was perfect. No one's saying that. He left us debt free, waved away $1 billion, as you say, just wrote it off. Roman got things wrong. We weren't always competitive. But the number one thing is he cared, and he always set the club up to give it every chance of success. This lot don't do that. Bro, there's been loads of Roman banners. Loads of Roman banners. Bro, exactly. People are acting like Blueco are some sort of saviors. Like, oh my God, Chelsea was going to go into liquidation and there was no other offers available. And suddenly Blueco came running in like shining knights, and they saved the day. There's 4, 5, 6 offers on the table. And people are acting like they're saying they saved the club. I didn't save the club. What are we doing here? Yeah, and this is what's happening now, is that we're celebrating mediocrity, chat. People are celebrating and praising mediocrity. I'm hearing things last night that like, oh, we played well, we did this, we did that. We're getting little bros. We're being patronized by people. It's a Spursy mentality. Like when Spurs lost 4-1 to us with 9 men and they're being praised for showing bravery and all this nonsense. That's what we're becoming. That's what we're becoming, because people are accepting mediocrity. But there is no project. There is no project. I said this after the Aston Villa game. There's no project. There is no project. There's no project. The project doesn't exist. The project is some sort of fantasy. That's what the project is. It's a fantasy. There isn't really right now. Obviously, the squad is probably slightly better, but in terms of, Spurs aren't competing at the top end of the table. Chelsea aren't competing at the top end of the table. We're playing for 5th place. We're competing for 5th place 4 years into the project. And we've spent £2 billion, £1.5 billion invested in the squad. And we're playing for 5th place in the Premier League. And apparently I'm being unfair. Apparently I'm being unfair. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want to sit here and I want to praise the club and I want to be talking about Chelsea in a positive manner. I want to be doing all those things. But right now, there are very few positive things to discuss in regards to the football club. I've never once slagged someone off for having a different opinion. I don't mind people. People have different opinions. That's fine. I don't want people to all think the same as I don't want this to be an echo chamber. This has always been about people can come and say their opinions and have different views about things. That's fine. I've never slagged anyone off for their opinions. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that everything's fine and not criticize the club and not say how I feel. Nothing is being done. I don't do anything for clicks. I do this because I enjoy it, build a community, and you see where it goes. And I enjoy talking about the football club. That's it at the end of the day. That's what I enjoy doing. I don't do anything for clicks. I'm not slagging anyone's opinions off. Joe Shields. Yeah, serious conversations. Serious conversations. Other than Palmer, all his signings have been poor. All of them have been poor. Shields, who's supposed to be basically just signs anyone that used to play for Man City, and it's been crap. It's been crap. Bro, this is the problem, is that because the majority of the home fan base, there's a lot of people that aren't the hardcore, that would be the away fans. You get a lot of tourists, you get a lot of people who aren't diehard supporters, and it's difficult. There was a few going into Matthew Harding, but you're never going to get the whole stadium doing it because of the makeup of the fan base in those home games. You'll get it at the away because it's the hardcore. That's where you'll get it. Chat, keep smashing the likes. Keep smashing the likes. Run the likes up, people. 107 likes. Let's get this up to 150. Come on, guys. Run it up, run it up. Yeah, of course it will be. Of course it will be. Bro, there's a difference between, it's called criticism. It's called criticism. If you want to refer to it as slagging off, that's fine. It's criticizing, and criticism is fair where it's warranted. And right now, criticism of the players is warranted, and criticism of the ownership is warranted. That is very simple for me. Too many people are failing in their responsibilities and their jobs at this football club. And that needs to be criticised, and that needs to be calling out, and that needs to be called out. Bro, this people say this, right? Yes, we had starters missing. But this was supposed to be the year where you built a squad that was capable of dealing with that. And we didn't do it. That's the point of having a squad, is that when you're missing players, you've brought in the required quality so that the drop-off of them is not huge. This was supposed to be the year where the gaps were plugged, where we had a top-class squad. Well, I've got so much stuff coming in, chat. This is the point. This is the point. Yes, there were starters missing, but the squad should be able to deal with it to a way better extent than it did. You can't be making excuses, oh, we are missing a few starters, when you spent £1.5 billion on a bang average squad. But anyway, we're going to get back to this centre-back stuff. We're now going to discuss the Enzo Fernandez situation. Because last night after the game, there was a report about PSG potentially looking at Enzo Fernandez. And now this is from an Argentinian journalist. And he's pretty reliable. I remember quite a lot of stuff with him before. PSG have made informal contact with Enzo's entourage. They have him firmly in their sights for next season. However, the signing won't be easy due to his contract until 2032. So I think there was a report maybe earlier this week or the other week where apparently Enzo Fernandez was not happy with the departure of Enzo Maresca, had a good relationship with him, is disappointed by it, etc., etc. Whether anything comes from this, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, and myself and many others have warned about this and spoken about this, the next step in this is that players who signed 3 years ago or whatever at the start of this project are going to become fed up when what they were told is not delivered. When they've just been sold a dream. Players aren't going to give up the prime years of their careers. And this is the next thing that's going to happen, is that players are going to start waking up and realizing they've been sold a dream and this whole project is BS. And they're not going to be playing regular Champions League football. They're not going to be challenging Premier League titles. They're not going to be winning major honours. And so that's the next thing that's going to happen. And this is what people are failing to realise, is that if you're not proving that you can, at the bare minimum, even challenge for major honours, top players are not going to commit the prime years of their careers waiting for something to happen that probably isn't going to happen. They're going to want to move on. Enzo, Palmer, Cucurella, I wouldn't be surprised if he was moved on in the summer. This is the next step that is going to happen. And that's the next step. That is the next step that is going on. Yeah, of course he is. Bro, don't be so ridiculous. Don't be so ridiculous. Bro, he will. Of course he will. No, Fabian Ruiz is getting on a little bit. They're going to be succession planning as well. And so none of this is a surprise, chat. None of this is a surprise. And Enzo could be the first one. Because not just the fans that are fed up with this, it's the players that are also fed up with this. They're going to start becoming fed up. And it's going to go in a vicious circle. And this is the next thing that's going to happen. And people are going to be wondering why these players are leaving. Bro, he's not shit at it. The system doesn't ask him to overlap. Bro, he got the winning assist in the Euros final as overlapping. What are we doing here? Yeah, he's not played particularly well recently, but he's not shit. Well, the fans are worse than the owners because they demand standards, because they want the best for the football club. So the fans are a problem. So yeah, look, this Enzo Fernandez stuff, I don't know how true it is, but am I surprised? No, of course I'm not surprised. Because it's natural. You've got one chance at a football career. You could get injured tomorrow and your career could be over. You know? Is that you can't expect players just to wait forever for you. You can't. And they're not going to wait for something to happen that's showing no signs of happening. And look, as I said before, I'm not telling anyone how to support the football club, but I'm really struggling to understand how anyone, as a Chelsea fan, can back this ownership. I'm really struggling to see it. I can't understand it. I respect people's opinions and their right to think differently to others, but I cannot understand or see what evidence there is to supporting this fan base. Sorry, this ownership. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And so, yeah, we're cooked. We are in trouble. Yes, we won a couple of trophies last season, and that's great. Conference League, any Chelsea team should win the Conference League. We shouldn't have even been in that competition, but you're in it, you win it, and we did win it. Club World Cup was a pleasant surprise. But in terms of serious trophies, in terms of challenging for the major honours, we've been nowhere near. And that's unforgivable, in my opinion. Bro, no one's crying about Mount and Gallagher. What are you talking about? And do you know what the next thing? Do you know what the next thing that's funny as well is, chat? Is this clip. Is this clip that came from Sky, from their transfer show. And you couldn't make this up. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Listen to this, chat.
In the end, it became clear that he wanted to move to Manchester City. But what that tells you is that Chelsea clearly aren't hugely happy with the wide forward options they have right now. They're perhaps not getting the goal threat, the numbers that they were expecting. Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho are only into their first few months at the football club, likewise with Esteval as well. And clearly these are three players with a lot of potential. But when you look at their wide forward options, Pedro Neto is probably the only player who's really excelled so far this season. Promising signs from Garnacho last night, scoring 2 goals. But signing a wide forward would feel like more of a summer focus unless one of those targets they have in line for the summer becomes available in January. Enzo Maresca spoke in the summer and spoke about the need to sign a central defender.
Right, so Chelsea are not hugely happy with the wide forward options they have. Guys, you spent over £90 million on 2 left wingers 6 months ago. You supposedly made an inquiry for Semenyo. So clearly showing you weren't happy with the wingers that you signed 6 months ago and spent over £90 million on. It's almost like signing 2 cheap options at the expense of signing a more expensive proven one isn't the right way to go. Who could have seen that coming? Who could have seen that coming? We're basically back where we were in August all over again, because Buonotte's left now. We're still competing in 4 competitions, maybe, well, soon to be 3. And we're losing numbers. We're losing numbers. I just don't understand it. We're literally back exactly where we were in August. I don't get it. Mamadou Sarr looks promising, but again, another player with potential. This is what people don't understand, right? When people talk about, oh yeah, but you know, we couldn't spend money because of UEFA restrictions. Why do we have UEFA restrictions in the first place? Because we spent recklessly. That's why. So the reason we're under UEFA restrictions is because we spent recklessly on bang average players, and now we don't have the money needed to try and improve the squad. People have got this idea that this UEFA situation was from the previous ownership. It wasn't. It was from this ownership. We overspent we're in this mess because of them. They spent recklessly. And now we're in a situation where this lot are saying that, oh, actually, do you know what? We're not really happy with the players that we spent £90 million on 6 months ago. We don't really think they're good enough. We're going to have to go and get some more. How is this being allowed to happen? How can no one see that buying 2 players of lower quality for the same price as one game changer rarely ever pays off? So why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep doing this, chat? That is what I want to know. Why do we keep doing this BS? Yeah, bro, I don't understand it. This is what I've been saying. So there's that situation as well. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But anyway, let's get back to the centre-back situation. So let's dive into this article, right? Ben Jacobs. We were supposed to do that at the start. So Chelsea are keeping tabs on Rennes centre-back Jeremy Jacquet and Como's Jacobo Ramon. Chelsea have discussed Marcos Senesi, another older name. Another older name Chelsea have discussed. Senesi turns 29 in May, and Chelsea are more inclined to look at a younger name. Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. And this is what we do. We brief that we're interested in older, more proven players, do nothing about it, and then just go and sign a load of unproven ones anyway. But let's see what this article's saying. Chelsea are exploring a new defender this winter. It follows calls to sign a new centre-back from former head coach Maresca. Chelsea missed out on Dean Huijsen, who joined Madrid. Yep. We signed Jarrell Hay. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's get rid of all this waffle. Let's get to the actual stuff. Any arrival would likely be... So, yeah, with the January window now open, Chelsea have decided to look at another defender. Any arrival would likely be a summer target the club feel they can bring forward to this winter, unless a short-term market opportunity presents itself. Oh, yeah, of course. Market opportunities. Because we're never going to go out there and just do something that we need to do. It's always got to be an opportunity. It's always got to be a this and that. Chelsea are keeping tabs on Rennes centre-back Jeremy Jacquet, Como's Jacobo Ramon. They've also been linked by Spanish media with a surprise return for Rudiger, despite insiders downplaying any approach today. Marco Senesi is another older name Chelsea have discussed, but is Juventus and Barcelona who are more seriously exploring the move? Of course they are, because those are serious football clubs that bring in players that make a difference right now. That's what they do. That's what they do, chat. That is what they do. Senesi turns 29 in May, and Chelsea are more inclined to look at a younger name. Of course they are. Chelsea have also scouted Toulouse's Charlie Cresswell, who's been subject to a formal bid from Wolfsburg this week. And last summer, former academy product Mark Gurr, he was explored and subsequently ruled out. Why was he ruled out? I.e., he rejected us. It remains to be seen whether Chelsea will reconsider their position. Then there's a bit about midfielders later. We're going to get into the midfield situation. But this is the issue, chat, is that none of these names are any better than what's already at the football club. That's the point I'm making here. None of these names are any better than recalling Ansel Mino. So why would you go and sign a Jacquet or a Ramon when they're not actually better than an Ansel Mino, for example? Why would you do that? That's my point. Why would you do that? I just don't get it. You know, some of these names are just not good enough. So if those are the names you're genuinely looking at signing, just recall Anselmino and stop pissing about. Everything is got to be an opportunity. They've got to make everything into an opportunity. All these random players, when Mark Gurhey's right there, he should be the one that they're desperate to get. I just don't get it. If they go and sign another 20-year-old instead of bringing back Anselmino, what is the point? What is the point? And it's again another decision that shows they're not interested in winning, because a serious football club in this situation goes out there and tries to get the best available. Chelsea should be signing Mark Gurhey this month. They should be. But they're not, because we're not serious. Not because we're not serious, chat. That's why. Because we're not serious. There's no point signing a player under the age of 21. No point. Gurhey's rejected us. 100% he's rejected us. Of course he has. And then you look at these names here, and none of these are what we need. None of these are making us better. You know, none of these are making us better. And so we should be trying. At the very least, we should try. I'm not saying that we definitely get him, but we should be trying, because he's the standout centre-back available this month and will make an instant difference to this team. Yeah, exactly. And you notice that we can't actually sign top players, or top players don't want to join us because they don't want to, because they don't believe in the project. No established top player is going to come to this football club because we won't pay the money and they don't believe in the project. We are not ready to challenge and win major honours. And that's what the best players want to do. They want to be paid handsomely for their services, and they want to be in a place where they can challenge for and win major honours. And unfortunately, that's not Chelsea. That's the reality. That's the reality of the situation. And it's a massive problem. It's a massive problem. I mean, looking back now, you could absolutely say that. You know, replacing Tuchel with Graham Potter should have been the red flag and the warning signs that everyone needed. And for some people, it was. I like to give things a bit more of a chance, but I've realised now that this is unacceptable, what's happening. Unacceptable, chat. Bro, Kendrick Pires is not playing against Brentford. Do I think Dave Fallows may take more of a lead role? Bro, I don't even know what he's doing. I honestly don't know what he's doing. Yeah, he didn't believe in the project. He didn't believe in the direction that the club were being, that the ownership wanted to take the club in. He could see it. Luis Enrique saw it. Nagelsmann saw it. And so it's a problem. It's a massive problem. Tuchel left the football club because he didn't agree with the direction the ownership were going in. He wasn't happy with it. Bro, Paez can't even get in the Strasbourg team. Respectfully, right now, he's having no fan clubs around him anywhere. He's having no fan clubs around him anywhere. But look, bro, he's not Premier League level. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't have the answer to that question. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't have the answer to the question. I mean, look, I'm not saying that Palmer and Caicedo will hand in transfer requests, but I'm saying the longer that we don't compete for the major honours, the higher that chance of those things happening. There's a higher chance of those things happening. I don't know. I mean, I highly doubt I'll be asked. I don't really know. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, bro, protest is there on Saturday. Big up to you, brother. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out in Jamaica as well. I don't know what the Chelsea community is like out in Jamaica, but I'm sure there are plenty of you out there. So big up to you lot. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out in Jamaica. Big up to you guys. So yeah, look, the centre-back situation, if these are genuinely the targets, just bring me back Ansel Mino or bring me back Mamadou Sarr. There's genuinely no point signing another 20-year-old centre-back when you've got Ansel Mino and you've got Sarr and you've got Achimpong already. What is the point? There is no point signing another There's no point signing another 20-year-old. There's no point, chat. Because you've got Achimpong, Sarr, and Ansel Mino. And yet you're looking at signing Jeremy Jacquet or Jacobo Ramon. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Protest is 1 p.m. and it will 1 p.m. on Saturday, and it will be outside the Bovril Gate at Stamford Bridge. It'll be outside the Bovril Gate at Stamford Bridge. So yeah, look, centre-back situation. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see whether we actually do anything or not, or whether it's just all a load of bluff, as it usually is. So we'll see. It might all come down to this UCL season. If we're not competitive, our good players might. Yeah, absolutely. No, people just think these guys are just going to stay, even if we're not competitive. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Chat, we're 20 likes away from 150. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Run it up, run it up. Let's get this to 150 likes, people. Run it up. And keep subscribing to the channel if you are new round here as well. Subscribe if you're new round here, chat. Let's see how we're looking subscriber-wise. Yeah, people keep smashing the subscribe button. We're 19,734. Let's try and get to 740 or 750 even. Smash the subscribe button. There's 155 in the building. Let's get more of you in, guys. Let's get more of you in. So yeah, smash the subscribe button if you're new and keep running up the likes. Yeah, of course they will. Of course they will. And it's false promises galore. False promises galore, chap. That's what it is. Fans are waking up now, and the players will start waking up to it. The players will start waking up to these false promises and realizing that it's BS. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, it's yeah. I would agree. I would agree on that. I think if we don't win the Champions League, sorry, if we don't win against Brentford, I think the Champions League situation is cooked. I think it's cooked. I really do think it's cooked. We just got to hope and pray we can pull something out the bag. We've got to hope and pray we can pull something out the bag, chat. Am I confident we can do that? No, I'm not. No, I'm not confident we can do that. Well, Silva at the moment is getting clean sheets on his Porto debut against Benfica. So that's what he's doing. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Bro, we do need Bowley to buy out Clearlake in the short term. That is what we need. 100% that's what we need. And hopefully we can get that. Hopefully we can get that. But yeah, I mean, look. Oh yeah, let's move on to the midfield briefly. Chelsea also want to add a new midfielder this summer with Nottingham Forest's Elliot Anderson among their targets. Chelsea will likely face competition from both Manchester clubs. There is historical appreciation for Kobbie Mainoo and Adam Wharton as well, with Rossini to now play a role in deciding which names Chelsea go for in the market, even though the club's model does not give the head coach autonomy or a recruitment veto. We're not getting Anderson. I don't think we get Wharton either. Anderson and Wharton, I can't see them coming to Chelsea. It's going to be. We're going to end up signing a complete random, or it's going to be Kobbie Mainoo. We're going to sign a complete random or Mainoo, and that's just like, really. Is this what we're doing now? It's going to be a complete random or Mainoo. Bro, we're not fine in midfield because Lavia's never fit. Santos is inconsistent. And we got no idea how good a Sugu is. No idea. So we need another midfielder. We need another midfielder. It's very simple. Very, very simple. But yeah, I'd honestly be stunned if we got Wharton or Anderson. I can't see it. I cannot see it. I'd be stunned if we got Wharton or Anderson. But hey, let's wait and see. Bro, if we were serious, we'd get one of those two, a top centre-back and a top left winger. But by now, we should all know. But Valentin Barco is not the answer. Wasn't good enough at Brighton. Couldn't defend, which is why he was converted into a midfielder at Strasbourg. Valentin Barco is not the answer. And the answer for Chelsea is not doing fucking business all the time with Strasbourg. That's not the answer. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not improved. He's not the answer for Chelsea. He's not the answer for Chelsea. And that's the point that I'm making here. He isn't the answer for Chelsea. And so, yeah, midfield, we'll see. But again, look, what is this, Paez or Barco or whatever? But yeah, look, they are a bit slight. There's no doubt about it. He might do. He could well do. He could well do. Well, if that's the case, then that's what you have. If that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. But yeah. Barco. I don't know. We'll see, chat. Chat, we're 10 likes away from 150. Come on, let's get to the 150. Run it up, people. To round out, chat, let's quickly cover this one. The Facundo Buonanotte farce. Leeds reach verbal agreement to sign Facundo Buonanotte. Chelsea to interrupt a loan move from Brighton, leaving Chelsea to return to Brighton and then join Leeds. So Buonanotte signed on loan because we couldn't get Fermin Lopez. He proceeds to play 45 minutes of Premier League football. Originally wasn't even named in a Champions League squad. This goes down as one of the most pointless signings ever and a complete waste of time for every single person involved. A waste of time for him, a waste of time for us, a waste of time for Brighton, a waste of time for everyone. And unfortunately, transfers like this are becoming more and more frequent under this ownership. More and more frequent. That could be an option, is that with Buonanotte gone, they're thinking about recalling Paez from Strasbourg anyway, because he's not really playing much. They could, instead of sending him on loan to another English club, they could maybe look at just keeping him around as an extra body anyway. I mean, I don't really think that helps Paez's development. Paez needs to go and be playing. But yeah, I mean, the Buonanotte thing is just laughable. I mean, seriously laughable. Seriously laughable. I couldn't believe. I'm not surprised at all. The guy played 45 minutes of football for us in the Premier League. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But hey, bro, there's loads of them. There's a long list. There's a long list of these. There's a long list of them, chat. I mean, that just sums it up, doesn't it? That really does just sum up this ownership and whatnot. Bro, Washington's with us. He's playing with the 21s. He's playing with the 21s. That's what he's doing. And that is what he's doing, playing with the under 21s. It's honestly mad. To be fair, Angelo's now cooking with Al Nassr in Saudi. He's actually doing quite well this season. But yeah, anyway, chat. I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's tuned in this evening. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Big love as always, guys. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the day, wherever you are in the world. I will be back again tomorrow with more Chelsea chat. So make sure you stay tuned in for that one. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Big love for the support. Please smash the likes on the way out. Let's get this up to 150. We're 10 short. So smash the likes on the way out, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. Big love to everyone. And I'll catch you lot again tomorrow. Up the Chelsea. Blue Co out. Love.